You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks, of us here from the ChrisVossShow.com. One of the earliest things that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you but doesn't judge you, at least not as harshly as the rest of the world, because you're here every day checking out all the 10 to 15 amazing podcasts we're putting out each week for over 16 years and 2,300 going on 2,400 episodes. The most amazing minds come on the show. They share with you their stories, their lives, their journeys, their cathartic moments, how they overcame them, and how to maybe live your life better or inspire you and everything else. Everything is here to make your life better, but you have to listen, but you guys do that already, so thank you for that. But go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss for the show to your family, friends, and relatives. LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTokity. ChrisVossFacebook.com. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today we have an amazing young lady on the show. We're talking about her book. She's a multi-book author and tends to write for children, because children need to learn to read early on, and of course stories are such a great way to help educate them. She's the author of her latest book that came out, at God's Amazing ABCs, out September 3rd, 2024. Roxanne Giardina joins us on the show. Did I get that right, Roxanne?
Very good. I'm impressed.
I was practicing in my head and what little bit of brains I have left. So we're going to be talking about her book and some of her insights and what she puts into them, so you can find out more about her and what she does. She graduated from UNO with a degree in early childhood education, is currently teaching in Round Rock, Texas. She's a teacher at heart and has taught everyone from preschoolers to elementary students, teenagers to adults, always with a passionate focus on the Bible. While teaching preschool, she started writing poems to enhance the Bible stories for her preschool students. This sparked a passion and began a several-year journey of poem writing, which resulted in children's Bible poem books. Welcome to the show, Roxanne. How are you?
Well, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm fine. How are you?
And so you were the one that, were you? No, I'm just kidding. I was going to do the police joke, but I'm not going to do it now. I was like, maybe you're the one that wrote the song about Roxanne.
And do you know, my whole life, not my whole life, but many years people have sung that song to me, and I don't think I've ever heard it, other than people singing it. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great song, The Police in their heyday. Give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
On my website is roxannegiardina.com, and it's RoxanneGiardina.com.
So give us a 30,000 overview of what's inside the new book.
I like to write poems. And my daughter came to me one day and she goes, Mom, why don't you do an ABC book? And I said, I hadn't thought of that. So what I did, I always want to relate everything to the Bible, because eternity lasts a lot longer than where we are now. And kids get so much information that is not biblical. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not biblical. I think being able to stick biblical in there is good. So this book, it's couplets. So it goes quick and it's got kind of a sing-song rhythm to it. So because of that, I think it's enjoyable for kids. And it goes over the ABCs while also giving some insights to Bible stories. Bible stories some kids may know and some kids may not know.
Bible stories, the things that keep on giving. And so you use the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the alphabet to connect those stories.
The first one, for example, is A is for Adam, the very first man. He made a mistake, but God had a plan. And I also put up videos You can go to YouTube, Roxanne Giardina, and I put up 3 to 5 minute videos on each of the letters. And some letters have more than one video. And the reason why is because it's just a little bit of information. And if the kids want to know more, there's a 3 to 5 minute video that they can watch and give them more information.
And so they can learn all the good stuff there. Now, is that the theme through your 3 other books? I believe you have a total of 4. Is that correct?
The 3 other books, what that was I was teaching at a preschool, and we had Bible stories. And I was like, I wanted to enhance their stories, and I like to write poems. So I would get so excited. I would go home at night and I'd write a poem for whatever Bible story we were introducing that month. And it blossomed into enough poems to have 3 books. Yeah. And I am so sorry. My dog never barks. And of course, he waits till we get on here to bark.
There's probably some mailman's coming.
So I apologize for that.
No problem.
But I would, like I said, I would go home and I would write those stories, and then I'd get to go to school. And what I would do is I would compile, I don't know, let's say about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the poems together, because I just taught 2-year-olds. And I'd make a little book and I'd give it to them at the end of the month that they could go home. And they would use them. The parents told me they would use them as bedtime stories. So that gave me the thought, maybe somebody might want to publish these. And so I put them out there and somebody did. So that began the journey.
Oh, wow. That's pretty darn amazing.
Yes. Which has been very enjoyable.
When did you know that when did you know that you were good at poems and you started poem writing?
Well, what's so funny, remember answer machines? And I would do a little rhyme on the answer machine. Or like for everybody does Christmas stories and things. And I would do a poem for the Christmas story. So I just have enjoyed doing that. And it came to a place in my life where I was like, what am I going to do now? Because I was newly divorced, and I'm like, Father God, what am I going to do with my life now? I had been a stay-at-home mom. I didn't know what my life was going to consist of. And my daughter, and all of her wisdom, Mother, she said, your degree is in early childhood. Why don't you go teach preschool? And I was like, that's a good idea. So from the mouth of babes, right? I did that. I went and I was holding those babies. When they're 2, they're still babies. I would hold the babies and they'd just fill me up with all their love. And then I'd go home and all the creativity would start to flow.
Oh, wow.
So it's just been a journey, and it's been a good journey. And it's one that I don't think this is the end of it. I have other books inside of me that I want to have published. But we have to start somewhere.
That's true. Build your audience and all that good stuff. Well, most of the authors on the show, they've done that over the years, or they're in the works of doing that, where they build their audience and they get their books out there, and their books tend to progress as they get going. Now, on books that you're maybe working on for the future, are those books that still are targeted towards young children, or are you thinking about maybe doing ones geared towards adults?
No, I haven't even thought of adults. It's funny, I like teaching adults, but I like writing children's poems. And I have written some poems for adults, but for some reason my mind just tends to is geared toward the little kids. Like I've got 2 good night poem books already written, and I'm waiting to see what this one does, to see how that goes. You just can't have a plethora of books out there and nobody buying them. So
you have to get them sold. Yeah, that's definitely true. And so let's go under through some of your other books so people can get familiar with them too. You've got Treasure Chest of Precious Pearls, Daily Diamonds. Tell us about that.
Daily Diamonds is a book that it's got 31 poems in it, and each of the poems has an illustration to go with it that the kids can color. So it's kind of like a fancy coloring book, but it's like a devotional of things in the Bible. like the fruit of the Spirit. It tells you different things, truths from the Bible that are in Daily Diamonds. And if you go through one every day, you've got a new poem for every day of the month. Yeah. And kids always like going back and rereading. So when they're little, you can do it, every month. You can do it every month.
And the great thing about kids is they reread stuff over and over and over. That's the way they master stuff. That's why they watch the Disney movies over and over again. It's kind of how we learn. We learn through stories. We were just talking about that with an actor on the show a few hours ago. Stories, learning through stories, and all that stuff is so important. Now, I guess the Treasure of Chest Pearls encompass 3 different of your books. There's the New Testament Nuggets and the Old Testament Oracles, and the one we just referenced, Daily Diamonds. If you want to maybe talk to us a little about those. Right.
Yes. So all the Old Testament stories are in Old Testament Oracles. The New Testament stories are in the New Testament. I'm sorry, my dog barked again and made my mind go off. He's going to do that just to aggravate me.
Yeah.
And so I apologize.
No problem.
So anyway, I did those books to introduce the Old Testament and the New Testament. And how it started was I had all the poems, and my daughter was pregnant. And it was like, I'm going to put all these poems in a book for my grandbaby. And that's how it began. I put them all in one giant book for him. And then when a publisher came and was interested in it, then I was able to divide them up.
Oh,
yes.
And what's next for you? Do you have some other books you're working on maybe in the next year or two that you'll be publishing out?
Like I said, I have the 2 Good Night books that I've already done, and I'm just kind of waiting to see what this does. But I honestly have thought about books for like specific stories in the Bible for children, like David and Goliath, or Jonah and the whale, or New Testament stories, Peter the fisherman, because kids like the rhyming aspect, and they also need to hear these stories. They need to know the truths of the Bible, and that their God loves them, and that they can learn about him and his world and what he has created for them.
And what age are they usually targeted to?
The ABC book, I think, is like probably kindergarten age. The other 3 books are probably, I did them for 2-year-olds. So I'm thinking probably 2 to 6 or 7. If they like to color, then 7-year-olds definitely would still enjoy that.
So they can color these?
The 3 Treasure Chest of Precious Pearls, they can color.
And kids love to do that. They love to interact with everything and get it on. What do you hope people come away with as they read your books?
I would like for this to minister to the spirits of the kids, but not only them, but their parents. I think that this world needs hope in it. This world they need something else to focus on besides all the bad things that are going on. And if we can realize that there is an eternity, that there is a God who loves us, that cares about us, then these books, I think, help do that.
They certainly do. Being able to learn about life, learn young, and reading is so important. Why do you think reading is important in shaping the brain? You're a teacher. My mom is a teacher, and my sister was. So I think very highly of teachers, and we should. What do you think how does it help develop the brain to start reading at an early age, do you think?
I think there are connections that are made in the brain when they read early, that some connections have to be made at certain ages, or you don't lose them forever, but they aren't as sharp. It's kind of the same with music, or, with anything you learn at an early age. If you start developing it early, it becomes solidified and it becomes a part of who you are. Like these poems, if the children know them, kind of like nursery rhymes, if they know them and they say them over and over again in their minds, it becomes a part of their spirit. It becomes a part of who they are, and it enriches their lives. Because again, it's putting healthy, positive information into them.
As we go out, what do you hope people come away with as you read your books? Give us your .coms, future pitches of what's going on, et cetera, et cetera.
It's my website is roxannegiardina.com. I do have YouTube videos out there, A through Z. They're 3 to 5 minutes long, and I'm starting to have more than one video per letter because there's more information in the story that you can just put on one video. And I don't want to make them too long because kids' attention spans aren't that long. But also in the future, what I want to do, I hope to start this summer, something totally different than this, is begin to teach the Bible on a YouTube channel. Because what I enjoy is I like looking at the symbolism behind the stories in the Bible. And if you do that, they apply to your life in a way that you never imagined. And when I started doing that, I was amazed at the answers that I found in the Bible. It wasn't just history stories, but it was stories that if you dig deeper, you can find out how much more it can apply to your life than you ever imagined.
Oh, yeah. When did you first get exposed to the Bible and religion?
Oh, I got saved when I was 8. Okay. But when I was 12 years old, I wanted to be on the Bible quiz team.
Oh, okay.
So I was on the Bible quiz team as long as they'd let me be on there. When I was 19, they're like, okay, it's time for you to get off. But I've always loved memorizing parts of the Bible. I've loved teaching it. It's just who I am. It's where my passion is. I do enjoy teaching other things. I really like teaching math. I think it's a blast to get kids excited about something they didn't know they could be excited about.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy those type of things. I don't just have my head in the Bible 24 hours a day. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I do have other things I like to do. Like I have a dog, like you have heard. and I do like doing certain types of exercises and things. And I like being around my family. So there are other things I enjoy doing. But right now, my focus is on these books and trying to get the word out there in case anybody is interested in just another way to introduce the Bible to their child without it being like a real heavy hitter. Do you see? Does that make sense? It's just kind of light.
You got to be, you got to have something for light for kids, or hits them way too hard, or you don't hand them War and Peace at 2 years old. Or 3 years old I mean, you can, but they're not going to be able to pick it up. So they're just going to be like, what is this crap? And it's War and Peace, man. It weighs like 5 tons or something. Yeah. Start with something light, thin, and of course, pictures are a great way. On the illustrator on it, did you work with the same illustrator in all 3 or 4 books?
That's a really good question. For Treasure Chest of Precious Pearls, the lady who illustrated those, I found her through a teacher friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
And her mother wrote children's books, but never was able to get them published. So the fact that she was able to illustrate mine was really, it was really neat. But God's Amazing ABCs, one of my 5th grade students, after I left the school and was at another school, I contacted his mother. I didn't want to contact him, directly. I contacted his mother to see if he would be interested in illustrating the book. Wow. And he was such a good student, and he comes from such a good family. His name's Kason Webb. And he comes from such a good family that it's nice to have something good happen to good kids. It seems like sometimes all the bad ones get the attention, or the ones who need more help or whatever. He was just a good kid.
Oh, wow.
Who did his work, who was, he was just a model student. And one day I was walking down the hall at school, and I'm like, who drew this picture? And somebody said, oh, Kason did. I'm like, I didn't know he could draw. So I found out he could draw. And when I started this book, he was the one I contacted.
Wow. And he did the wonderful pictures in it and made it look great. Yeah. I mean, we need more young people to read, utilize their brain, critical thinking, and reading just does that for you. It makes you think about things. It makes you understand your world better and everything else. I think it's one of the most important things. My mom, I think, was reading to me in the womb. I know she was writing to me in the womb. she would, she has all these letters that she wrote while she was pregnant with me.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. She compiled them in a book and all that stuff. But, I think just having that sort of experience with being educated early and reading, and of course, teachers inspiring us to be better people in and of ourselves. I mean, I just think that makes such a great difference. So yeah, I'm glad we got it there. It looks like we got the dog to finally, he really just wanted to be on the show, I think is what it was.
I apologize. Like I said, he never barks. Never.
I mean, maybe we should have more dogs on the show. I think maybe that's what he's upset about. He's like, hey man, why are you holding out for dogs, man? Dogs need to get on the show too. So my dog's pretty quiet. My dog never says anything. My dog's whatever. He's doing a silly little show there again. You got that going for you. So anything more we want to tease out or talk to us about future projects you're working on and the books that you got going on?
No, I'm just excited about this book and hoping the other 3 can come to life again. And I'm excited about my videos. And please go watch the videos if you get the book, because it will really help the kids. I have a little puppet. A girlfriend of mine made the puppet for me. And so there's a puppet on there, my little lamb, and the little lamb sings the couplet, and we talk about the story and what's behind it. It's really neat.
Do all the books run with the same characters through them, or? No, they don't. Because they're about different stories in the Bible. But the video, I see what you mean, because I have a little lamb, because my girlfriend's extremely talented, and I'm like, can you make a puppet for me, a little lamb? I need to talk to some kids. Don't want to see me on a video. They want to see a lamb, So she made a real cute little lamb for me, and the little lamb and I talk back and forth about the story. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's kind of neat.
It's been fun to have you on the show. Give us your .coms one more time as we go out.
Roxanne.Giardina.com.
Thank you very much, Roxanne. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I've totally enjoyed it.
Thank you. We have too. Folks, go to pick up the book wherever fine books are sold. It's called God's Amazing ABCs. You can find it on Amazon and other places. And check out our other books as well. Get your kids reading. Make them smart. I've seen some of the kids out there these days, and they need to get off my lawn. Anyway, I watched too many Clint Eastwood movies, evidently, and then I've gotten too old. Go to goodreads.com, folks, /Chris Voss. Facebook.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one of the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.